Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
No, good.
Not well.
I'm good, but like not good.
You care to tell us why?
I'm just hungover.
Drinking with the guys last night.
Happens to the best
Drinking
of
with
us.
the girls and the guys too. We had our something about her holiday party, and we had a lot of wine. I had a lot of wine. I don't know about everyone else.
Did you do the natural orange wine? I love the. You went to John and Vinny's.
I had some red wine. I was drinking a Tuscan Sangiovese. Is it Sangiovese or Sangiovese?
I could not tell you,
Whatever.
but a red wine is always a risk for me. That's always a risk.
I love red wine. I love lots of red wine.
I love it too. It doesn't love me back though, is the problem. I don't care about the tannins and the bullshit. It doesn't matter. It could be the nicest red wine on planet Earth. One glass and a quarter.
What was that? A planted? Just kidding.
Anyway,
Anywho,
we
have a guest.
wait. First of all, Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, it's Happy New Year.
It's 2025 by the time they're listening to this.
Well, yeah.
So that's really exciting.
it's not yet, but by the time you hear this,
Right.
Christmas hasn't even happened yet.
Well, yeah, but that's when
Okay,
I'm here.
fine. We're whatever. We're
Okay, she's grumpy, you guys. The hangover's going to her. We have, look at that fierce look. We have an amazing guest to start the new year. We thought who better to start the new year with than our pal Chris Medina.
Yeah. Hi, Chris.
Well, hi. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for coming. Welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney
and Dayna Cathan.
unapologetically,
We're here to do what we want to do.
spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.
so how do we know, Chris? You guys known each other longer, so if you guys want to.
Yeah.
We've known each other
a while.
long, like before we even were formally introduced to each other
yeah.
from back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a mutual friends from like way back. But we met more in the recent years of
Yeah.
like, I don't know, how many years ago was that?
It has to be at least 5, right?
Oh, more.
More, yeah.
I would say like 6. Yeah.
Well, maybe I've known not that much because I feel like you introduced me, and I mean, I had my first reading with you maybe like
In 2018,
I think I was
wasn't
in WeHo at the yeah
you
so
were.
it's okay.
You were.
It's been a long time.
Well, to
So
back it up, if you don't know who Chris Medina is, Chris is a fantastic psychic medium. He's read everyone that you know.
And then
he's your
some.
favorite
And then
psychic
some.
medium's favorite psychic medium.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
your favorite. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, what else do you want to add to that?
Yeah, tell them a little bit about
Share
you.
with the class.
I mean,
By
Chris
yourself.
Medina from Los Angeles, psychic medium. I've read some of your favorite people. I've read you both a million and one times. Yeah, I mean, that's just what I do.
Exactly.
We were talking earlier before you got here about how do people hit you up for free psychic advice? Like we had our last guest was this gal named Reb Maisel. She's an attorney, and I'm like, I bet people ask her for free legal advice all the time. Like, how much psychic advice do you get asked for?
All the time. I mean, I go to a party, I get invited, and I mean, I'm sure as a guest, but it turns out I'm giving readings. I did a wedding for this director last summer. I think it was
Mhm.
last summer. And everybody and their mother, that whole line to my tent was backed up. They had to come out there and were like, you guys get on the dance floor and start dancing, come back in or whatever. So yeah, I mean, all the time.
So how often does it happen for you that so people are seeking you out, but are you ever just mid conversation? Like I'm basing this off the Long Island medium, that blonde.
Oh,
chick.
Teresa?
Yes,
Yeah.
she'll be like, at least on her show that I've seen, she'll like all of a sudden be talking to someone and want to bring it up. Do you ever bring it up to people because something's getting so loud for you that you like have to say something?
Like a
or-
stranger, or like you're at a restaurant or just like in a grocery store.
Or no, more so even just in groups. Like, do you ever, or do you just like shut it out? When are you able to do that?
I can't shut it out, but I do not go up to people and be like, I have a message to deliver for you.
Oh.
I feel like if you want, you want to be read, ask me. But yeah, I mean, what am I going to say? And what if their belief system is not, aligned with what I do? And they're like, get the fuck out of here.
They get a pitchfork.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh, what? People don't like being surprised with psychic mediums?
No.
You know
I
what? It's
just-
so to this day that still comes up on the internet, and I just am like, wish I could forget it.
What happened? What?
Oh, on Vanderpump Rules, Sheena decided it would be a good idea to
Oh, I remember.
surprise
Yeah.
Dayna with a psychic, just like ambush her with one. Just
And
in
I
case she
was-
wanted to talk to her mom.
I was just really unwell at the time and like not ready for it, and also like would have wanted my sister to be there. And at the time, I don't honestly, looking back, I don't think Sheena was being malicious, but I had told her like off camera, like I don't want to do that. Like, so that's what I was upset about was like, and then all of a sudden she was at my door, the psychic. So
She's like, is she here? She was like, no.
And the camera cuts to her outside my stairs. But again, long time ago.
It's a little different when you're seeking it out versus like somebody being like, hey, I got a surprise for you. And then it's just.
Especially when somebody like your mother passes. You know what I'm saying? Like when I went to your house in WeHo, the apartment in WeHo.
Yeah,
I asked you, I said, do you want to hear what I have to say? I'm just not going to open it up because, you could still be raw about it,
Well, and I think you were the first one that I did that with. And so it was I think it was I met all of them in 2019. So it was sometime after that. And at that point it was going on 10 years and I was just starting to get ready.
Yeah. To be honest with you, when I read you at your apartment with your mother stuff, it seemed like she just passed recently. That's how fresh, I don't know what other word to use, how fresh your mom's energy was around you. Like it seemed like it just happened.
And which is crazy because it had been so much time.
Yeah.
Wild stuff.
Mm-hmm. So who wants to go first? Who wants to go first for their 2025 psychic predictions?
Ooh, I mean, we both are so into this, so.
You go.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay, so we'll go in alphabetical order. So yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, smart. I told you when I first walked in, I had a message to give you when it comes to your mother. And so do I have permission?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Okay. So next year for you, we talked a little bit about a little bit of astrology stuff, but I want to skip that before I go into, I want to skip that and then go into the psychic stuff first, and then we'll do the astrology stuff later. But next year for you, and with the information that I got from your mom when it comes to what's happening with you, this is really a time for you to step aside from yourself. Does that make sense? Like you are so inside your head and so internal.
What?
That
me?
But you,
yes,
because your energy wants to take care of you, can be very, very impatient. Do you have the thought process? You have the idea of what you want to do and how you want to go about doing it. What gets in your way is people and time. You have to remember who you are and where you're headed when it comes to what you want to do with your life. And so when I bring your mother in here, I hate doing it, but to not have you be as stubborn as you are, and also to remember that you have other people that you can rely on as well. Even though that's difficult for you to do at times, you have to realize what your network is next year and what your plans are when it comes to you and how you want to go about doing it without getting in your way. Because next year, if you do not do this, I'm telling you right now, if you continue to drag, you're going to slap me. If you continue to drag and kick your feet along the way, it's going to be harder for you. And then that's where you're really going to lose it.
I mean, it's difficult because honestly, this has been a theme that comes up. And one of the last things that my mom, when she was still cognitive, wrote to me, and like she tried to write me a letter and didn't really complete it. But the last line said, "Don't let anyone get in your way, especially not yourself." And so that's been a through line, but it's sometimes hard for me to just go with the flow. I can go with the flow if I just know what time the flow is starting. Like it's very much that
That's
vibe.
not going with the flow.
No, I know.
Yeah, but let me ask you this though. With that being said, like I can go with the flow as long as I know where the flow is going. Even if you don't know where the flow is going, don't you trust Dayna?
I mean, I think more so now than in past years, but like I've also just made so many wrong choices that like sometimes I get in my head about that. I get in my head about the fact that like kind of analysis paralysis of like, well, I've made so many wrong missteps, and then can I rely on myself?
When people come to me for readings and they say, well, it's easier said than done, Chris, what did you do to get your life back on track? And because I tell people, you would have hated me 15 years ago. You have no idea what I've been through, to get to this point here. And the hardest thing is to let go. And also, again, when it comes to somebody like you, to allow yourself the opportunity to see how far you've come without interrupting your process. You are somebody, I don't know why you get so worked up, because even if you are caught off guard, how long does it take for Dayna? Answer this truthfully. How long does it take for Dayna to snap right back into what's going on? You may get irritated and be like, fuck, I got caught off guard, but you're not dumb.
Yeah.
I'm
a figure it out person.
Yeah, but exactly. So next year for you, I have to put this out there with your mother's help and what's coming into play. It's important that you pay attention to this because again, this decides what happens for the next 3 years going into 2027 for you. So it's a big time. And then your lucky months next year are July and August, right before your birthday and right after your birthday. So pay attention to that because again, this is when you pray or you manifest and put things out there, you are asking the universe for help, to guide you or to, bring things in. Even when they bring things in, you question it.
Yes. True.
That's what your guides are saying is that we can bring these things to her and she questions every single thing. Yeah, but is this really what I'm supposed to be seeing? And is this really how you guys want to give this to me?
Yeah.
So to go back to what I said, when people say, how did you do it? You have to force yourself to get out of your head. You've got that Virgo moon.
Devastating.
It is. I
Devastating.
give people shit all the time when it comes to Virgo, and I just have to put this out there one more time. I do not like it, especially when you have your major planets in it, like the sun and the moon, and you're a woman. And I'm not bashing women, but it's too much. It causes you speak on it. I mean, it
Well,
causes.
yeah, you've explained to me before. Basically, because I have a Virgo moon placement, I'm really analytical about everything, but then I'm also a deeply intuitive person. So the two of those conflict because I feel things that I trust or think I should trust, but then I have to like iron out every detail and think through every scenario and do all that. And it gets really exhausting.
And you're an early Leo, so you do not like to make an ass out of yourself. You do not like to be the last one to know. So if Dayna's going to go do this, Dayna has to be goddamn sure this is going to work or she's not going to do it. But that's why I bring in the power of Dayna. If you don't trust anybody else, how do you not trust yourself? Especially what the universe has been giving you all these. I mean, when I talk about your mom coming in here and talking about all the opportunities that you've been given, and they may not be picture perfect the way that you want them, but it leads you to these little stepping stones to get you to where you need to be. And next year you're going to be putting your money where your mouth is, and really going in a different direction. So I'm going to say by September of next year, your financial situation, I don't know what it looks like now, will be improved in some way. There's something about, especially as we start getting into the end of February, going into March of next year, that is where you're really going to be feeling the pressure of like, and before I go there, you have to ask yourself during this time, because you may feel a little bit anxious, but I'm going to have to ask you during that time, are you anxious or do you feel like something is about to change? Because what are you doing in your life at that time that you should be worried about? And you're probably going to say nothing. And that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, I just worry for sport. Like, it's just one of my favorite things to do. I wish there was an Olympic medal for that. Women's health has been constantly overlooked for generations. The lack of products focusing on women's needs is ridiculous. That's why I'm excited about this brand.
I mean, yeah, what have you done? What have I done? What has anyone done in the past to try and address the issues women can face, from vaginal health to hormone health to menopause and beyond? And how hasn't that fallen short?
I mean, we could be here all day.
I know.
The thing is, before it was like there's misinformation and it's kind of like an everything shower, but for your vagina, you try 20 steps, but now it's just easy capsules.
And also I felt like it was, kind of stigmatized. Like, if you felt like there was odor or it was off, there was something wrong with you.
Why are we all so weird about talk? We all need to sit down in a collective group. The coven needs to come together. Everyone's feeling a little uncomfy at one time or another. We talk about this all the time. We never feel normal.
No, I know. It's like one week out of the month.
But not with O Positiv.
No, O Positiv, you can feel fresh as a daisy every day.
It's great.
It's great news. O Positiv is on a mission to deliver innovative, clinically backed, fun to take products that support women from their first period to well beyond their last.
They are committed to breaking down stigmas and addressing the unspoken issues that many women experience. Come on. Hormone health, vaginal health, menopause, etc.
O Positiv's ability to create real, tangible results has made them a go-to brand for millions of women.
O Positiv products are available at Target nationwide.
Many factors like sex, working out, hormones, and menstruation can disrupt vaginal health and lead to an imbalance in vaginal flora and pH, unhealthy odor and taste, abnormal discharge, and discomfort.
Euro's clinically studied probiotic strains and prebiotic fibers target these issues at the core and support overall vaginal health, supports healthy vaginal odor, vaginal pH, vaginal flora, and yeast balance.
If you're sexually active, concerned about vaginal scent and taste, often feel vaginal discomfort, or are prone to vaginal imbalance, then Euro is for you.
Euro has over 5,000 five-star reviews, and it's a top-selling product on Amazon and Target, which is like no surprise to anyone.
Yes. You take 2 capsules a day and they keep everything smelling fresh down there. And to be honest, it's more comfortable during the day-to-day life as well. I swear by them.
Take proactive care of your vaginal health and head to opositiv.com/DRF or enter disrespectfully at checkout for 25% off your first purchase.
That's opositiv.com/DRF for 25% off. Real quick, I gotta talk to you guys about Quickies.
Oh, like the nails that you're literally wearing because you're an actual user and you're obsessed with them?
I'm obsessed.
Those Quickies?
Those Quickies. Quickies is salon quality press-on nails for the girls, gays, and theys.
I could write a sonnet about all the ways that I love Quickies.
I could do a whole TED Talk on them.
Maybe you will. And you'll probably wear them too. You'd have them on. Maybe you just, while you're doing the TED Talk, you can do a new set. Show them how easy it is.
Again, 10 minutes this morning because I took off the last set I had on and I was like, it's Christmas. So now I got presents on my fingertips. They're so cute. Just all the different lengths, shapes, designs that you can choose from for such an affordable price, way cheaper than a manicure or especially nail art design, which goes for a real pretty penny. And then you got to sit there for at least an hour.
I know I once saw a meme that was like, I wish I could drop my hands off when my nails are getting done and pick them up later. And like that cuts it out. That cuts out the need to take your hands off and give them to someone. Bailey, the founder, is so hot and cool. And like, I'd like to be her when I grow up, but it's no surprise that her nails are so trendy. She always has her pulse on like what the girls want. The girls, the gays, the theys.
Yeah, they're for everyone.
They're for everyone. It takes less than 10 minutes to apply. And the best part, costs under $24. Where are you getting a $24 manicure? Doesn't exist.
That takes
several hours.
Available in a variety of lengths, shapes, and sizes. Each kit comes with 24 nails in 10 sizes to help you find your perfect fit. Little tube of liquid glue and a little mini nail file. Everything that you need in a convenient little pouch.
It's so cute and it makes so much sense. Like, why did no one else think of the little travel pouch before?
I know.
We're on the go. Hello.
I know. I love to take mine on a little plane. I'll do them on the plane. I'll do them in the car. So if I don't have time, just pop them in the bag.
And then they end up in my bags and I don't ask questions.
Okay.
It's the first and only press-on brand to use that functional travel zip pouch packaging so you can easily take your quickies on the go, eliminate wasteful plastic trays and chunky cardboard boxes.
Yeah, exactly. Like we said. New styles drop the first Tuesday of every month. So there's something new and fresh on the site to choose from.
And $1 per order is donated to the LGBTQ plus communities and abortion funds because your manicure might be a quick fix, but fighting the patriarchy sure isn't.
And the new collab with Something About Her is out now. So you can get those as well. There's 3 really cute styles to choose from, or you can just
They're
get all
not edible.
3.
You use them on your hands, even though they're near delicious sandwiches.
They're for the hands, not for the eating. Don't get it twisted. There is also something, coming out pretty soon. So stay tuned for that.
I wonder what it is. I can't wait to find out.
Who knows? And for our Disrespectfully listeners only, take 20% off your next order with code Disrespectfully, but it is not applicable with other promotions, discounts, or bundles.
And I mean, I am a deeply anxious person. And also, I try to give grace for it because all of what you're saying makes sense. But I've also experienced so many unpleasant things in my life that weren't my fault or came out of left field that I know it's my own past.
But you said it wasn't your fault, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you putting the blame and that on your shoulders if you knew you had nothing to do with it? This is where you got to stand up for yourself and remember something. People are going to say whatever they're going to say about you. I think the world of you. I think that you are somebody that is no fucking bullshit. That you'll tell it straight up, you'll tell it how it is. So again, if it wasn't your responsibility or didn't fall on your shoulders, why are you still carrying that weight around? Why do you refer back to it? It's that Virgo moon thing. You guys don't forget about stuff.
It's more so I feel like trying to prepare. You know what I mean? When like,
but you can't.
And I know you can't. So that's where it's like the emotional and the intuitive and the analytical. But like,
boo, if you can get past that one, I need to prepare or I need to know at least what's going to happen. If you can get past that one cycle and introduce yourself into a different way of thinking, I'm telling you right now, somebody like you, because if you and I are very similar, if you're gonna tell us to go on this walk here, we better make goddamn sure that every step that we take is going to ensure our weight. We don't want to fall through it. Right? So when it comes to you and the lessons that are coming into play here, you got to give yourself, I hate this word, but you got to give yourself the grace to be Dayna. If you can get past all that stuff, the universe will reward you with what you want because the hardest thing for you to do is to let go. In order for you to move forward, they're going to throw, and I like to say karmic nuggets your way, little opportunities that are like, see what you did, you let this go, so we're going to replace this with that. You are somebody that needs that.
So is this in all areas of life for me or with like
it's your way of thinking is what's preventing all the other areas in your life to flow naturally. You get in your own way.
Totally. So how do I undo that?
Like I said, you have to catch yourself in the moment. You know how many times, you can ask Jay, how many times I sit there in the mirror or I sit at home saying, shut up. I tell people there's 3 different sides to me. There's Chris Medina, my everyday way of thinking, my person. There's Psychic Chris M. And then there's the traumatized Chris Medina on the inside that says, you're fat. You're going to go do, you did Lala's, Amazon Live thing. You went in there, you bought a new shirt, but you're going to look fat. And I have to tell myself, shut up. You have to actively catch yourself and change your way of thinking. You have to beat the shit out of yourself every now and then.
I mean, I feel like that's probably one of my bigger challenges because I'm so set in my ways with that. And on paper, that sounds great. And I would love to do that. But it's my brain is like my most difficult thing that I have to actively overcome constantly, and it gets exhausting. But I will say, since the last time you did a reading for me, I am in a very different place, and I'm in a much better place. And honestly, it might not sound this way, but the most calm, trusting place I've ever been, but it's not without challenges. Like, it's still something I'm working on, even though it's a lot better, which is crazy then to think back of like, how did you survive 10 years ago? Because this is so different than where I was.
The difference between you and somebody else that I would tell this to is that you know damn well what you're doing. Does that make sense? Like I trust that you will steer yourself in the right direction if and when you're pushed to. But you need to really take the reins of life and direct yourself in a way that's working for you. Even when it comes to like relationships and what you have planned for yourself. Because I've always told you, when you get into the honest to God relationship that you're supposed to be in, you are taken care of.
I mean, are you talking like romantic relationships?
Romantic relationships.
Honestly, this is like vulnerable to say in front of everyone, like the audience.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so here's where I'm at with relationships. Part of like my fears for the last few years. I mean, I was only in a place literally in the last 2 years where I could have even if I met the right person, that I would be able to receive them, because I didn't realize all the ways in which I had gotten in my ways and had all these triggers and whatever. And I'm doing much better. But at this point, I feel afraid of saying out loud to the universe that I'm not sure there is someone for everyone. And at this point, it's not just because I can't meet someone. There's plenty of people that have wanted to date me and whatever, but it's like the perfect storm of I really don't like a lot of people. And then the people that I do like typically don't like me. And then, so it's like waiting for that cross section. But right now, I feel scared of saying out loud, like I feel unsure that I will meet someone at this point. Like I'm 34 now. And I'm okay with, and honestly, I've had to settle in with that fear and be like, but if you don't, yeah, that would be great if you did. But if you don't, like, okay, what does the rest of your life look like? And I'm sure that there are people out there listening right now that are in their 30s, 40s, whatever, who are feeling that way. So I feel like I just want to be honest about it. Like, I just don't know.
A lot of what he's saying about like, you have to know something is a sure thing before going into it. I feel like you are always like, you will stop yourself before anything can ever happen. I think sometimes, especially when it comes to relationships, you'll be like, yeah, but they're like this, I think you're not as open as you think you are or want
She's
to be.
She's afraid to be caught off guard. She's lost so much. And she's also, forgive me for saying this, but you're alone. You've had to rely on yourself and be so independent there. But you have to you have to understand something. And I want your fans to back me up on this. We don't look at you as a weak bitch. We don't. Your energy, your strength, your soul, your essence, your presence is very strong. But on the outside, or the way that you condition yourself, it's almost like you feel like in some ways you're damaged good. So you've resigned at the fact that if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's what you're looking for. You're looking in some way, and slap me if I'm wrong, to be taken care of.
No, you're not. Like, hyper independence is very much a symptom of the trauma that I've experienced and having to take care of myself since I was just barely an adult. So and it's not even like, I'm not even saying, I know you're not, but like, not even saying like financially taken care of. I mean like emotionally. Like, yeah, I would love to pass the reins over sometimes. I always figure everything out, even for like I'm just the one who just will like execute things because it's just what I know how to do. But I would love to be able to be soft and let someone else do that. But it's like hard for me to even get through because I think everyone's full of shit of like letting them, letting it unfold, which I think is probably more what you're talking about. I'm very quick to cut someone off. Like, that's
what I mean. But let people surprise you, I think.
Well, they have surprised me in a bad way for the
most part. And they will too more. But I don't think that. I think that's less of surprise and more of just like of course.
I know where you're coming from. I used to be the same way. If I got into an argument with somebody, I thought, you and I got into an argument. If we did, I'd be like, that's the end of our friendship. We're not going to talk anymore. And then until I met Jay, where Jay was like, you've had disagreements with people before, haven't you? To where you need time to cool off, and I need time to cool off as well too. It doesn't mean the ending of stuff though. So with me, I had to retrain my mind into thinking, you know what? Let me just back off.
Oh, that bleeds over into friendships for me too, and in any type of relationship, I'm like, oh, that's it. I guess we'll never speak again. That's fine. I can heal. Button that up and pretend it didn't happen. Like, it's just how I am. So about relationships though, like I feel like I've had readings and people will say like, going into this year, you'll probably meet someone or whatever, and also I understand free will and things change, but I, at this point, truly do feel calm about it. But it is like, I just watch it happen to everyone around me. And I've been single for so long at this point. I wish that I could just meet someone, whoever, and like make myself fall in love with them. But if that spark isn't there, if it's not something that I'm really into, I just can't. I can't fake it with just someone who's whatever.
But that's where you have to be patient. And I know I hate saying this because I'd be the last one to tell myself this. but you have to be patient with that process to find out, again, what, I hate this word too, what your triggers are and how you respond to that. Because I can pretty much guarantee, and I don't like guaranteeing things with anybody, but the relationship that you're going to get yourself involved in is going to be, you're not going to attract an overly emotional type of person. You would not put up with that shit.
That's what I mean. So I think that spark isn't going to be as instantaneous as you think it is. I think it's going to be like this sort of like, huh.
Exactly.
That's going to not feel like that, like, oh my God, this person
to
is.
where she's questioning herself, like, why am I feeling that? Why am I feeling?
Yeah, so you're probably going to, you are probably going to question it. You're probably going to try to talk yourself out of it. You're probably going to be like, no way, I don't think so. And then, yeah, so it's probably going to be this like process of like you trying to reconcile with how you actually feel about it and feel less like a spark. But then once you do, I feel like kind of surrender to it, it's probably going to be amazing.
Well, and I'm also saying like, it's like the toxic thing where it's like, I think that sometimes people conflate, I used to, passion and a spark for toxicity. Like I definitely understand and know how to differentiate.
yeah.
So I'm not even necessarily just saying that, but like.
No, but I think it's just being the patient thing. Because
And
again, it's not, that person might not, you might be confused by what their actions are, how they feel about you. So you might be wondering, because they're not going to be like an overly emotional person. You probably, that's what I mean. So like that spark that you're talking about, or that attraction might be a slow burn rather than a spark.
And let's be truthful. I would think twice about getting into an argument on the street with either one of you guys, because I know I'm not going to get out of that argument without being unscathed. So did you ever stop to think that? I'm not saying that you're unapproachable at all. I'm not saying that. But did you ever stop to think that you could be very intimidating? And yes, you can turn around and say, well, that's their fucking problem. Yeah, but if they turn around,
Yes.
if they are intimidated by you and they're kind of easing their way in there with you, that's where you're going to be like, I just wish that you would either be a little bit faster or a little bit more like this. But if they were that way, it would be a turnoff.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now,
so then I'm screwed. Like that's basically what I'm saying.
No,
like,
not,
yes,
no.
I understand. Yes, but then I feel like, okay, well, then
You just have to find someone who's going to like match your freak
You
a
need
little
to find
bit.
a
Be
man,
open.
not a boy dressed in men's clothing, a man that will put up with, you're going to slap me for this, that will put you in your fucking place when you need to, not
No, that's
slap
my dream.
you.
What are you talking about? That's literally my dream. I wish someone could stand 10 toes down.
But-
I'm like,
Yeah, but someone that's just someone that is up for the challenge, basically.
And
No,
that's-
because I respond to like when my mom tells me that. No, but when was people say the same thing, like, well, maybe you're just like intimidating people. I'm like, well, that's not my fucking problem.
Mhm.
literally.
Deal with it.
Mhm.
Like, I don't think I'm intimidating. I think I'm lovely. I think I'm a goddamn delight. Like intimidating. Like what? I get everything you're saying.
Again, but so then we're in the cross section of like, if I'm just not interested in, it's never going to happen. So it's like that, finding that person, it's like a very small category that can put up with me and fan my flames and also appreciate, not just like be like, oh, I have to wrangle her, but like someone who gets it. And then someone that I'm also at least a little attracted to or cannot get the ick from for more than 5 minutes.
I think you get the ick really quickly and like really quick. And that's fine, but I also think sometimes attraction really grows, especially when you really like begin to like somebody more, or like when you fall in love with them, like you can really, somebody becomes far more
gonna
attractive
be-
too.
You are going to get together with somebody that doesn't put up with your shit, that you were like, wait a minute, did he just fucking really say that to me?
And you're like, this is the sexiest person I've ever seen.
Yes. Uh-huh.
All of a sudden, they could go from, not a 2, but I mean, they could go from like an 8 to a 20. They go from a 9 to a 50. You know what I mean? A 10 to a 100. So again.
And I'm going to bring your mother in. Do you think that your mother would want to see you this way?
No, I think that she, in reflect, because just yesterday was the anniversary of her mom's passing, so it's funny seeing you today. And hi, Mom. I think she'd be. All of a sudden, a microphone starts like sliding across the room.
She
Welcome,
goes off, yeah.
Julie. I think that she would be gobsmacked at how far I've come. But when you start like beneath the floor, I'm now getting to where normal people are. But it just took me such a long time. But no, I think that she would be sad that there's a bucket in my life that is unfulfilled, but it doesn't mean then my whole life feels that way. And I used to equate finding and having and maintaining romantic love with being fulfilled or making sure that then the rest of the world knew you were lovable. And I don't feel that way anymore. But of course, like who wouldn't want to be in love if you had the opportunity? I have had to do it all alone and I have had to figure everything out. So no, I don't think she would love that part of it.
And also when we talk about what you do when nobody else is around in your place, how you treat yourself.
Karaoke.
And I'm not going to throw you under the bus, but you know what I'm saying? Like as much as you have this defense mechanism on the outside and you want to protect yourself from being hurt or being scammed, I mean, I agree with you to a certain extent. I mean, you guys are in the industry. You guys have been on television. People know who you are. So it's hard to kind of like, just trust everybody. But you, again, I can't tell you, Dayna, you are ready because I'm not you. But I'm telling this year for you, moving into from 2025 in almost towards the end of 2027 is a big challenging time for you. And I think that, again, as much as it's going to be just a little bit difficult because it's forcing you out of your comfort zone, I feel that you will be ready by July of next year. You will have a different perspective. The opportunity is going to come in some way that changes the way that you think. It's time. This is a karmic thing that's happened. This isn't like, oh, well, if you play, I get a lot of shit for Stassi. They're like, how come you gave Stassi this banger reading or whatever? Because her shit was written in stone. Yours is going to be written in stone next year as well, too, as far as like, this is karmic. Has to happen. This isn't like, well, if Dayna decides to do this, this is what's going to happen. No, it's happening next year for you. You are going to be forced out of that comfort zone. You are going to be evolving, not only the inside, but the outside as well. And I was thinking about the way that you look, and you're a very beautiful woman, but do you ever stop to look at the way that your eyebrows are? Like how it's kind of.
I love my eyebrows.
I love your eyebrows
and
too.
I get Botox in my 11s. What are you talking about?
But like you, like to I bet you anything by August of next year, they are going to tell you, did you do something different? You look a little bit more laid back, or I like to use the word refined in some way. So whatever takes place starting the end of February going into March of next year, all the way up until August is hard work for you. And that's where I feel like by that end of July going to August, there's something different about your appearance. I think
that he just co-signed on my blepharoplasty is what I just heard. Basically.
No,
so I heard upper and lower blepharoplasty.
You did tell me that people are going to tell me that I look different, and that happened.
Yeah. I would say one thing I also want to say about this, more so just because I know there are people out there listening and who obviously tune in and appreciate what we have to say, who are feeling this as well. Kind of in the where I go back and forth about trusting myself and not trusting my judgment. I am a really good judge of character for the most part, but where I have fallen flat is romantically. Like there's so many people that I've dated that I now look back and it was just written on all over the walls, but like I don't know how I was able to be fooled, and that makes me not trust myself romantically specifically.
You want to slap the shit out of me right now? Any man that allows you to take the lead in the relationship is done. You cannot proceed with that relationship if they are putting the keys in your hand to drive that relationship, because you're so used to doing that in your everyday life. How are you going to learn what it's like to be cared for or taken care of if you're constantly in charge? That's why I'm saying somebody's going to come in here with a really good sense of humor that's able to speak, Dayna, put you in your place in a very respectful way. But if you're with somebody that's more emotional or more feminine than you are, or, lets you take the lead, it's not going to work. How are you going to learn what you need to learn if you're the one driving that ship? You're going to tell him, oh, I want you to do this for me. There's no surprise in that. And you want surprises. You want somebody on a Friday afternoon to pick you up from work early and be like, you've worked your ass off. I heard you bitching and complaining about your boss. Let's go. Without you having to tell that dumb fuck, let's go. I want you to do this for me.
Right.
You want to be treated that way. And that, make no mistake, this is what I hate about psychics sometimes, is when they give readings, I'm serious, when they give readings, they talk all this long shit about, all this past life energy that bleeds into this lifetime. And then, give you a far out reading about, we have to wait 3 or 4 years for this to happen. I'm telling you right now, your biggest lesson right now is letting go. And also too, which will lead to what you've been looking for in this lifetime, which is a relationship. You have to learn what it's like to be in love and to be cared for in that way. You are not leaving this earth until that happens. So you decide whether you want to go kicking and screaming or you just want to give up. But when you give up, I'm telling you, you're not dumb. You will catch yourself. You got to show yourself what you can do and what you've learned over the last, 12 years you said, or 10 years?
12 years. Yeah, 12 years since.
It's wrong for me to say, but you are ready. It's not right for me to say because I'm not you.
No, but I mean, I feel ready. And for, like I said, for the most part recently, like things have just, in the last year specifically, I've just gotten into a place where I'm like, it's coming from a good place. It's not coming from neediness or desperation or wanting to prove anything to anyone else or to make me feel loved. I know I'm lovable. I'm lovable as fuck, obviously.
Yeah, you are.
And it took me a very, very long time to learn that. And I feel like I'm coming from a good place going into 2025. Love to hear that.
So you have that until 2027.
Okay.
And you have me in your life, so I will help you.
Great.
And I will not let you get in your own way.
That's what I need. Miss Maloney?
Yes.
Should we do some readings on her? What do we have for Miss Maloney in 2025?
You guys, it's no surprise that you guys are friends and you guys are close because you guys, I'm not saying you guys share the same brain, but you guys have that defense mechanism where, I mean, You're not to be fucked with.
No.
But I know you a lot better than I know Dayna and a couple of the other girls. And I have to tell people, especially when I get readings have readings with your fans, you're portrayed one way on the show, but I know you on a personal level, and I love who you are as a person. I can sit there with her and we can have a deep conversation, and it's like almost like you're giving me a reading sometimes. We're so aligned in that way.
Yeah.
So I think that sometimes for you, when it comes to the next year, it's not going to be as close to Dayna's as it's going to sound here, but next year for you is really coming into your emotional well-being. Does that make sense? I know that you know what makes you feel good, but to allow yourself to feel that and go with the flow in that way and do healing in that way is big for you. Does that make sense? Like not just in the form of relationships, but also in the form of your independence. What you bring to the table as an individual. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't watch the show, but Vanderpump is on hiatus or something.
It's done as far as we know. They're going to reboot it and bring a new cast in, but I'm done.
I don't know how you feel about what I'm going to say. I think that's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. No,
Because-
I was already done. Like, I mean, I was done. But yeah, no, I was ready to move on.
Yeah,
for sure.
it's not even a disguise. Like it's
Yeah.
And so with you, this is more about your outer shell. Dayna next year is from within out. It's what she does on the inside that filters out on the outside, and how she's going to look, not to herself, but to the public. What shell she's wearing. And for you, this is very much, again, stepping into my light, but as an individual. Most of your identity has been wrapped both with the show. And so you moving forward with the sandwich shop and everything that you got going on with that, and then plus your own independence and with your own career in that lane, it's going to be big for you next year as far as like ideas and opportunities coming your way that force you out of your comfort zone that you probably didn't think that you were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
big next year for you. And we've talked about this over and over again.
Mm.
Like when we meet each other, I was like, oh my God, I totally see you doing this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And the show's been your identity, but next year for you, especially yours is not going to be as intense till 2027. I think last time we spoke, I said up until 2026.
Mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
So next year is going to be good for you. It's not hardcore. I mean, I think you're as good as you're going to get when it comes to the emotional side of things. I think that you need somebody to practice on as far as like real time examples or real life lessons in real time. You can't prepare yourself, right? You need to be in the moment this year.
I mean, what do you mean? I like practice.
Like when it comes to relationships, to see how far you've grown. Like if you're in a relationship right now,
Mhm.
how long, how does this person make me feel? How am I opening up to this person? Where is this going here? Am I allowing myself to flow with it, or am I controlling it in this way? Or am I letting my fears and insecurities get in the way? Because with you, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but when it comes to past relationships,
Mm.
I mean, the same thing I told Dayna. You cannot be. I'm not saying sit in the back seat and let the guy drive you all around here, but you cannot be in the driver's seat. You have to know what it's like to be cared for. You've got these deep same with you. These deep emotional wounds.
either.
I know. I never. Yes.
Tom,
yeah.
get in.
And
We're going shopping.
And one of the things about you too is that you, in this lifetime, if I'm going to be one of those psychics that brings in past life energy, you're old.
Mm.
You've always had a spiritual backing too. That's why you're so into it in this lifetime. That's why you resonate with that side so much. But the one thing that you didn't do was evolve yourself from within as a human being. Does that make sense? Like you knew what, karma and spirituality was in your belief system, but as far as like love and romance and having a family and children and things like that, I'm not saying you have to have a family in this lifetime, but you didn't give yourself the opportunity to do that. So in this lifetime, it's big for you. You started off fast in this lifetime, very independent. I mean, like I said, I've known you for a long time, and you've always had that look to you.
Mm.
So again, with you, this is really doing an emotional cleansing here, and also reminding you of what not to go for when it comes to men.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I want nothing more. I mean, I love the shit out of you. You know that I do. I love your mom too. To have somebody come into your life that treats you the way that I know that you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that she's going to slap the shit out of me. I think that you're a little bit more willing to let that person take the lead, because I think that if you catch them in real time, like fucking up, or they do something that irritates you, you're going to be like, no.
Oh yeah.
God, I can feel her slap. She'd be more inclined to be like, you see, I fucking told you this is what you were going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like she's going to be feeling where you're at probably by August of next year, as far as like why she's been holding herself back.
Mm.
I like where you're at, so that's good.
Mhm.
I'm down with that.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about that?
No, I feel very much that way too.
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel as far as like the emotional stuff for sure that I'm like very in it to win it.
Mhm.
There's a very lovely lightness about you
Mhm.
right
And
now, which I am 10 out of 10.
Yeah. And also too, I mean, don't let anybody get in your way when it comes to this. You know what I mean? You guys have very public lives and people want to interfere with shit and, you know, throw things out there. I hope
No.
people, and I hope people, I hope they, you know, those people that are doing that when it's their time, they're showing the same exact grace, if you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I
We hope
they
they have the day they deserve.
Exactly.
Well, I hope that they've saved up because, you know, karma.
Mhm.
It you got to pay back in interest. So,
And my whole
Yeah.
thing is what makes you think that she's so fucking stupid that she's not going to catch anything? Does that make sense? Like
which
what-
one are we talking about?
You.
Oh, me?
Yeah, like again, when people, you know, people interfering in your
Sorry,
personal life and
because
saying
I've
all
heard
these things here. Again, like I, as much as I want to stick up and say things, you know, when I see stuff, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, yeah.
like I know you in a different way, but I always tell people there's nothing about her that screams dumb to me. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah, no,
couldn't see
I am
her.
not a fucking dummy.
No.
I mean, trust me.
After all the shit that you've been through, I
Yeah.
think that you really opened yourself up in a totally different way. This is not who you were 2 years ago.
No. I'm not a dummy.
And you could see it on your face. You can see it in your energy. You've grown a lot.
Thank you.
I've noticed a huge energetic shift. I mean, over the last, when was that? Was that 2022? I don't know. In the last 2.5 years, like I've seen so many iterations of you, and it's just like light and lovely
Thank
and
you.
where you should be. Not that I'm professional. I'm just saying from a sidelines kind of view.
Yeah. I mean, you have been there for this entire time, so you would know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and as far as like the independent stuff and career, yeah, I'm definitely very excited about this next year. I feel very optimistic and excited. It's kind of scary, but I'm really excited and I'm very open to things. So
when I give people readings on the phone, and I'm going to use you as an example here, when we talk about getting into a relationship and they're telling me, you know, oh, when is it going to happen for me? Blah, 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 blah. And I will tell them, you focus so much on the material side of things, like your job, how you're putting yourself out there, that you've kind of gotten as good as you're going to get right now in that middle of the road. What you need is somebody to come in, just like you, a relationship to come in here to change your thought process. And I always get the glimpse, you know, when you see a movie and they show Earth and you could see like it looks like the globe or whatever, and you could see like the street, you could see the lights from, you know, lighting up the earth or whatever. I always tell people that's what it reminds me of, that when you get in this relationship, it's going to open up, light up other areas in your mind that bring you clarity, that give you confidence to do shit that you would have never done before because you feel supported in a loving type of way.
yeah.
And that's what I get with you, is that your confidence is where I'm going to tell you, if you're starting to feel anxious next year, or kind of like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Stop and ask yourself, are they building me? Are they telling me that something's good, that something's good is about to happen? Because what do I have to worry about?
Mhm. Yeah.
So be confident and be determined. Go after what you need. You've been wanting this for so long.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you were sitting there desperate. I've always told you, I want to see somebody take care of you the way that you would take care of them.
Totally. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. And so again, lighting up other areas of your life. You know, you're in a totally different cycle now when it comes to your career
Mhm.
and what you want to do. The possibilities are endless.
I hope so.
Seriously.
Because
We talked a lot about one thing, and I don't want to say this unless you, I mean,
No, I mean, and I'm definitely. I mean, we can talk about it all. I don't care, but like, I'm open to so many things. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to get into.
yeah, get into,
Yeah, I want to be. I want to get into acting. I want to get into. I don't see myself as like in like the hosting world of it all. I think Ariana's very good at that. I can't see myself doing something like that. I don't think I have like the, you know, what is the word? The moxie for it, or the.
you need a little bit more structure or something scripted like that. Like, you know.
I don't know. I just think I just have a different thing for me.
Well, your career house lights up in April of next year. So I don't know what you have planned between now and then, but April seems to be a time to where now I feel like the ball's in motion. I can kind of see a little bit further down the road when it comes to my career and what I want to be doing.
Okay, good.
That comes for you in April. It doesn't mean that right on April, that's when it's going to happen.
No, I know, but I wanted to give myself time because it's like I don't want to be just grabbing at things, and you know, I think taking a more holistic approach that feels like things I'm genuinely excited about and I can really see myself doing and want to do, and feels, you know, not on brand, that's the word, but like holistic. And
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how it works in your field to say, I mean, if you're working at McDonald's and you're going from cashier to manager, with you, I'm seeing, more of like executive type stuff. Like if you're going to do something, maybe, you guys have an idea for a show, whatever the case may be, executive produced by Katie Maloney, things like that. Pay attention to stuff like that. Because again, with you, I don't know how to say this because maybe your mind's not completely there yet, but you are going to feel not invincible, but all your mind is going to light up with ideas. Don't talk yourself out. I mean, it's good to check it off saying, yeah, but this is what I don't want to do, or what I do, or what I do want to do. But you're gonna feel confident next year as far as like what I truly want to be doing. This feels good to me. Where before I would have been intimidated or a little bit nervous or whatever. You're gonna have that confidence next year, especially when it comes to your career. Because again, the love side of it, you're easing into it. You're not jumping into it right away with your eyes closed. You're feeling this out. It's been, trust is huge for you.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're starting to trust in the process, which will again open other areas of your mind. And I'm excited for that. I've been telling you that for so long.
Thank you.
Well, can we piggyback? Disrespectfully is also part of her career.
Yeah.
Can you do a reading for the show? How's the show going? What do we do? Because the people who are listening right now care, and we have a great audience. But what's going on with us?
God, somebody asked me this a long time ago, and their show didn't last long. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but remember something.
Cut that. No,
I know. Cut it. But as you're moving and grooving, both of you, I think this was a good opportunity for you and for you to do this together and to put yourselves back. Put yourself out there. It's been a while for you since you've been on television.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that, again, you guys are probably talking what's going to happen with the show by October of next year of what you're going to be doing. It could lead to other things. I mean, I'm telling you, you guys haven't even matched or brought in the guest stars of your life and guest opportunities that come in between now and October of next year. It's going to be something to where she's busy doing other things that she wants to, stretch out and do this. And you want to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you guys revamp and do something different. But I think you guys are going to be wanting to not go your separate ways,
Allison's
but opportunities.
furrowed brow in there.
No, I'm like, where are we going?
Hop in, babe. You're coming along.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay. Well, anyone listening who finds this show to be comforting, don't panic. I would say I see it being forever,
No,
but I guess we'll just
evolution
have
is
to see.
good.
This is my one and only job. So
Growth and evolution is good. And also, too, remember something. This shouldn't scare you, but you're coming into a different cycle next year. You have this new energy. And because I think you and I are more alike than Katie and I are alike, I mean, you don't know me in my personal life, but I'm just as bad as you are when it comes to certain things as far as like control. And I think one of the biggest things that my guides taught me over the last 2 years from 2022 to where I'm at right now is letting go and trusting in the process. And I'm telling you, I have not been fucked over. I haven't, having to make that change, or I haven't had to worry or scramble or be like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. Or, I knew this was going to happen there. My guides say, because you are so worried about it, we are going to back up. We will tell you when it's time to move. And I haven't had anything negative happen. Nothing. And I think that's what you're going to see next year, all the way up until 2027. God damn, it just seems like everything is working. Like I'm letting go. If you would have known me 2 years ago, ask Chris Medina, ask Katie, I wouldn't have done this. That's what I hear you saying.
Well, also, I left my corporate job in August, so this is my job, and I feel really lucky that I get to do it, and I love doing it. But there's part of me taking off the table that, yeah, you can get fired from a corporate job, whatever, but it is more stable, and there is an easier 5-10 year plan, and it's a more linear trajectory, even though it's not necessarily like this or that, it's just straight across. There is part of me that feels like I should be more worried because I don't have the 5-10 year, I can't see it, but part of me feels really calm and like I'm stepping into my purpose of whatever I'm supposed to be doing. But then there's part of me that's like, no, did you forget about the 5-10 year plan and your really unstable childhood? Go find a 5-10 year plan.
Girl, let me tell you something. I'm a Taurus. I'm a Taurus, Pisces, Capricorn. My stability and my comfort zone is a must. Can you imagine your guides coming to you in 2014 and telling you you're going to quit your corporate job with no fucking plan? You are going to become a psychic medium and take what you do and do that for a living. You are going to read people and you're going to be on television and do all this stuff here. I worked in the insurance industry for almost 20 years.
No.
How the hell, what are you talking about? So when it comes to you, I'm telling you, me worrying, I don't have to worry. I've never had to, I never wanted. Sure, yeah, it's rough. It was rough at the very beginning, but I'm happy. It led to my freedom. And that's what I see happening over the next 2 years for you. A change in your walk of life, your path, relationships, how you feel about yourself. You are evolving. To tell you only that you're evolving your outer shell. Yeah, that's part of it. But you are evolving a lifetime of a certain way of thinking and finally finding some inner peace. It's time. I don't know how else to say that. And it's not going to take you 4 months. There's no way. This is going to be a 2-year cycle for you.
Interesting.
And then you got that Virgo moon, which means next year, I think it's in January, the nodes change. They always go backwards from Aries and Libra. Now they're going to be going into 29 degrees Pisces and 29 degrees of Virgo, which that north node is going to oppose your moon in Virgo, which is whenever the nodes come in, it's fate. It is a change for sure. And your moon is your emotions and how you internalize. You got to stop being so practical and logical, so black and white, and leave room for interpretation. I know you hate that.
I know.
I'm a Pisces moon. My moon is the opposite of yours. And then you got Saturn getting ready to oppose your moon too, because it's in Pisces. So, I mean, ask any astrologer out there. You are due for some major changes, not just astrologically, which we're talking about now, but I see it psychically. And for your mother to come in and be like, we don't want to make it about me when you go on the show. Would your mother say something like that? Well, I don't want to make it all about me. Talk about, in how people think that, not the show's about her, but taking that energy of bringing her into the reading with you and taking that off of you. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to come in here and abuse her death to make something stick.
Yeah, maybe.
But that's what she said though.
Yeah, I mean, I would say more so because she'd be worried that I would be worried about that. But no, I mean, my mom we're the same birthday. She was a Leo. She would, again, the microphone might slide across. Maybe she's going to grab a camera. We just don't know. Kind of seems like her.
I just think it's very karmic that, it was her anniversary yesterday. We're doing this today.
Yeah.
It's the end of the year. And again, if I had anything negative to tell you, I would tell you, you better be careful with this. I just think that the most negative thing you're going to fucking slap me is your way of thinking.
No, totally. So I guess it's about figuring that out. Anything else for Katie?
No.
We pretty much cover it.
I think, yeah.
I don't know, because I know that it's obviously we're all, however many billion people on this planet living different lives, but do you have any 2025 predictions in general, or just like what people can expect out of this next year?
Scary times.
Because people are scared, so
they should be scared.
Oh God.
They should be scared.
What's going on?
As far as like individual, I always tell people, you can't stop the world from spinning. I mean, all the people getting involved in politics and things like that, arguing with people left and right about it, you have no idea what goes on behind the scenes and how that all works. And so as you can only be responsible for yourself and what you do moving forward. There's shifts coming in. We're going to see changes financially. We're going to see changes within the US.
Quick question about, because we were just talking 2 episodes ago or whatever, last episode, about the drones. So, okay, so the drones, we were discussing either it's our country, foreign, or aliens. Like,
apparently
people are saying people are saying they're looking for something.
They're looking
we should
for
be afraid of
like a
nuclear.
Yeah, some type of
metal or
yeah, there was a leak or something of some sort. Like, yeah, like what is it? It's called something with a P.
I don't know, but
it's bio something.
Yeah, well, no,
the aliens are looking for it.
No, these drones are
the drones, but they basically I've heard it's like a weapons of mass destruction thing that they lost, and they're like, if they're all looking for this and we can't find it, and it's somewhere within here. What is your take on all of it? Are the aliens like, LOL, not us?
No, I it's hard to say, because when it comes to that, I get so much shit for it. But do I believe in aliens? Yes. Do I think that they're around? Yes. I've seen them come to me. I've seen them in real life. I know that sounds psycho. I have seen them. What I think about the drones, I think that it's planned in some way.
Wait, go back. You've seen the aliens from real life.
Yeah, we talk about this all the time.
I know, but what do they look like?
The one that I saw, it was the William Cooper guy.
Oh, but what did it look like?
It was tall. It was, I went to during that time, because I spoke on it, I got invited to all these alien summit things or whatever. And it was called, I guess they're called different things, like a mantis type alien or whatever. But this one was tall. It was so tall. I had 9-foot ceilings in the apartment that I was living in. And that fucking thing was so tall that it almost had to bend down. And then the arms on it were very skinny, almost like broom handles. And it was reading my mind. Like I could see it, like I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I was going to get up, and my guide said, "No, sit down. Like you're gonna scare it." I said, "I'm fucking scared. What are you talking about?" Yeah, and I could, as my guides were talking to me, that thing in the corner started to move, and I said, "It knows that you're talking to me," and it said, "Yes, it's reading your mind." And I said, "Well, I'm gonna get up," and then when I said I'm gonna get up, I shit you not, that thing said, "Look down." And when I looked at my leg, remember how I said its arms were like broom handles? My leg looked like a broom handle. It was it looked like my leg, but it was like skinny. And I said, "Oh my God." And I freaked the fuck out, and I jumped, and my guide said, "Look at me." My guide said, "No, it's an illusion. It's fake. He wanted you to look down. Look, it's gone."
Because he was reading your mind.
Yeah. And when I looked away,
he wanted to leave.
It was gone.
What
But to take
color
your
was
great,
it?
I couldn't see it. It was dark and it had like a I don't know what we want to call it, a jacket, but it had something. It was wearing something because I could see the sleeve of it, and then I could see its long hand, and then the broom, the really skinny wrists. Yeah, and it was reading I could feel it inside my head, and I also saw
What
it.
would his
perk
head
up.
look like?
It was wearing. God, to say a hat is wrong. I don't know what was on its head, but it was like a hat or something.
Whoa.
Mhm.
What do you think it wanted?
I think that it wanted to be introduced to me because of what I was going through at that time. I saw so much. I saw Alien. I saw this lady's blue head come out of the wall. I'm not kidding.
Oh, I believe you.
Like,
You're with the right audience.
yeah,
What?
I saw this blue head. I was living in Oregon during that time. And this blue head, I was sitting in my room and I wasn't stoned. I wasn't smoking weed
I
at
was
that
gonna
time.
say, was there any kind of like psychedelics that were
No.
consumed? Okay.
I saw the wall out of the corner of my eye. I started seeing it shift. I said, what the fuck? And I didn't want to look. I wanted to see what it would do because sometimes your eyes play tricks on you.
Yeah.
And this blue head came out of the wall, and it would have been like it looked like a female type energy, but she was bald. She had like
Wow.
no hair. Her hair. The only color I can describe it was like the color of earth, that blue color.
Mhm.
And she said, and I said, she looked at me and she smiled, and I said, "What are you doing here?" And she said, "I came to witness." And then she went back. This was like
Bro.
during the day, like at 7, like
Chill.
6 or 7 o'clock at night.
Bro.
hmm
Well, we knew aliens were real and we knew they
Yeah.
were tall.
No, it's crazy now that they're like, oh yeah, no, aliens exist. They're talking about them in the ocean. They're talking them like about them just around, and everyone's like, all right, chill. Anyways, so did you hear about the blah blah blah?
You're
Like,
gonna see more stuff with the ocean coming into play too.
yeah, we're not supposed to be going in the water.
No,
The ocean
Love the
doesn't want
water.
us. I know the ocean does not want us in it.
yeah, but there's other things, and then you're gonna
Mhm.
find out about. I mean, the stuff that goes on in LA, like the tunnels and stuff and things like that.
What are they called again? They're called there's a name for it. Yeah, those tunnels that like
That lead from one side of the
hills
valley all
to
the way
the-
until
Huh?
yeah,
I've never
you
heard
haven't
of
heard
this.
about this?
No.
yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I've heard like there's someone that wrote in. There's a person that like reads like stories, like crazy, weird, creepy stories, and this like one person talked about how like they met like a really high profile celebrity and went with them to their house, and then they were like, "Do you want to go to a party?" She's like, "So we went down to their garage and got into like a unmarked SUV. Then we went into like a tunnel and drove for like 20, 30 minutes. Came out, could not tell you where we were."
Mm-hmm.
Went to like a warehouse party, blah, blah, blah. And then when I said I wanted to leave, they're like, all right, they dropped me off at a gas station. I was 40 minutes away from my house at that point. So it was only drove for 20 minutes and they were in the Hollywood Hills, but now it was 40 minutes away from like where she lived in like, like West Hollywood probably.
Mm-hmm.
How?
Mm.
And you know how you look at those news, like the Inquirer.
Mm.
I don't know if they still do the Inquirer, but remember that the Inquirer and Star magazine and like the
Mhm.
news magazines, how they would always say like Elvis is still alive.
Yeah.
Look for shit like that to come into play too. With people that you thought were passed on, and people are gonna be like, that happens all the time. Like right now, people say they see Michael Jackson. No, we're talking about some high level people
That what? Fake their own death?
that fake their own death to get out of shit.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And all this stuff that's going on publicly or whatever, all this,
Do you think Epstein's still alive then? And somewhere else?
I
Faked his
wouldn't
own
be
death?
surprised.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
truly.
Yeah.
What about Tupac?
Oh, I don't know about Tupac.
I wish he
I wish
was.
Biggie was still alive.
I know. I'm just saying like those two, I'd be like, all right,
hmm
nice.
I've always said about, the whole thing that went down with that. It was like the powers that be that couldn't control them. And it was either them or us, and it had to be
Mhm.
them.
Well, karmically looking pretty scary for the next year. So let's leave them on a positive note. Like,
Yeah.
what's something fun we can tell
Yeah.
people to look forward to in 2025?
You can't do anything. You can't change the world. You can't, you can't change what goes on in politics and things like that. All you can
Yeah.
do is change yourself and make things happen for you. And remember when we talked about, I always use you as an example. Remember when you were going through the divorce and you were thinking it was going to take forever to sell the house? And
Mhm.
you had said, I said, no, I see you doing it within the next 2 weeks. You said, Chris, that's crazy. The housing market's fucked up. It's going to take forever. And then you got it like 2 weeks later. You sold it.
Yeah, it did happen. Yeah.
Things like that. Don't pay attention to shit like that. Don't stop living your life because of what you hear going on. Because during these times when people aren't looking, you could really bank on, taking advantage of what's going on. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
tell people, do what you need to do for yourself. Look out for you. Squirrel some stuff away.
Until January 19th.
But this has
TikTok's
to
gone.
this has to happen. It's time. And I think that people they're in for a rude awakening. I mean, you can't bury your head.
Yeah. Shit. Well,
But we were leaving on a positive note.
So really, nothing positive. Just basically like, do you, boo?
Do you? Yeah.
And
Okay.
good luck.
Yeah. Do you? And good
Hope
luck.
this helps.
Hope it
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah. And good
Oh,
luck to
shit.
Florida. Yeah.
What's that?
I said good luck to Florida too.
Why?
No, who cares about Florida?
Them before us. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't like Florida. Sorry, not sorry, but like the politics are fucked up. They objectively hate women and gays and theys. And you know what? Like they don't want to do anything about it. I don't care.
Until they're forced to.
If you're from Florida and you just live there and you love this podcast, I love you. I'm not talking about you, but your state sucks.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not talking about you, but like your state sucks.
Yeah. And again, to end on a positive note, I mean, again, do you, boo? Do what you need to do what you need to do for yourself. Evolve yourself. You can't change what happens to other people. Stop trying to control it, Dayna and Chris. But yeah.
Well, I guess that's a good way to 2025. Do you, boo? Any final thoughts, Katie Melanie?
No. Love having you here though. Thank you so much. I love just like chatting with you. It's so much fun always.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate
Long
it.
overdue.
Yeah, plug
Yeah.
yourself. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, the only account that I have at Psychic Chris M. I don't solicit readings on there. I don't have a backup account, none of that stuff. So at Psychic Chris M. And then feel free to sign up for a reading at chrismedina.guide.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank
It's
you for
always a
having me.
pleasure.
Always.
And I'll be
always.
hitting you up once a month next year and we'll just get this whole thing figured out.
Let's do it, boo. Do us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women. Like,
Disrespectfully.